get a question in on governmental pensions. Recently, the Oregonian did a story, front page story, about how governmental pensions were costing jobs. The Columbian has done a number of things on the benefit packages and pensions of governmental employees. I'd like to know from each of you, first, do you have any idea how much Clark County is putting out from taxpayers in terms of costs to governmental employees? And secondly, whether or not you believe that governmental employees should be moved to a complete sort of 401k system in the private sector, which most people in the private sector are on. So that's a two-part question, and Joe, will start with you.
Okay, fine. I do not know the total payroll of the county. And so on your second point, I believe that the compensation and the benefit package for employees of Clark County should be competitive with the private sector. And I know Clark County has recently started seriously studying that. I think that the salaries are competitive, but the benefit packages are not competitive. They're better in the public sector. That is an issue that clearly has to be on the front burner and has to be examined in terms of budgeting going forward.
What do you think about moving the public sector to what essentially the private sector is at, a 401k system?
I don't accept that. I know what exactly is competitive and what is the private sector across the board. I want to study that, but I am firm on my statement that I think that the salary and the benefit package should be competitive both ways.
Ron?
When you look at the workforce, I think it's very important to understand that the well-trained, responsive workforce is exactly what the citizens deserve of their county workers. And compensation package has to be competitive to the point that we are able to attract talent that is going to provide those services. We want to be able to deliver the service correctly the first time and with competency. That being said, if we have to compete, it's either going to be in salary or benefits. To say today that I'm willing to abandon one form of compensation over another would be premature in my belief. That as the executor of the county and dealing with the employees, I would first go to look at the level of services that we're providing, the training that they're receiving, and to make sure that the citizens are getting their value for their dollar on the existing front. If it turns out that it's a budgetary matter, which only 37% of the county's total budget is actually within the purview of the commissioners to adjust or change, because the rest of it is already in payments that have been granted or spoken for, per se, I would think about it more in the context that says the private sector offers something and we have to be able to match it, and benefits is potentially one of those items.
Okay, well, with all due respect, I don't think you answered the question. Do you think public sector employees are better off than private sector employees right now?
I saw the article that you published, so you already pretty much have an opinion of how you believe it
Right,
is.
but I'm looking for your opinion.
Right, and what I said before is I'm not positive, but even based on your article, that they are necessarily advantaged in the marketplace. So before I'm willing to say yes or no to that, I would like to actually have an opportunity to see what the marketplace is and to understand the talent pool and the training that's required. It may be that in some cases we're vastly overpaying, but in others perhaps we have a bargain that we're getting with the employees that we have at hand.
Okay. Do you have any idea how much money that Clark County taxpayers are paying for pensions?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you. Bob, same two questions.
There's real no comparison whatsoever. There's like 3 volumes, this is just one of them, like community development. They have a 2011-12 budget of almost 17 million. They have 4 employees, that's 480,000 a year it's costing the taxpayers. So the whole system needs to be looked at from the top down. Because going over this, community planning, 10.5 employees, $2 million budget, with salary and benefits, 10.5 full-time employees comes out to 195,677 a year. That's, in my book, and the people I talk to in business, it's way out of line. I mean, it's kind of like the fairground thing. We're spending 3.5 million a year on that place, the exhibition hall. There are 3 employees out there. The budget's 410,000 for salary and benefits, equals 136,000 a year. This whole system from the top down needs to be looked at. Everybody's hurting, so everybody's got to take it together. And I just didn't understand, even in the building department, they laid off pretty much all the good inspectors, and they left because of time, the seniority they had in, and it's just not flying. It's not working out. They're really not producing. Some of the things I've heard from people that work there and retired. I think we have, I might say too much here, but I'm just going to get it out there. You have people walking around watering plants. You have people crocheting. You have people afraid to hire or fire people because of their race. This whole thing needs to be looked at. I've just started in on the budgets on these things, and it's, the people that take care of the county cars down there, their average we're paying $132,000 a year. It's like, I have some old cars and worked on cars. What are we getting for that service? Is it better that we hire it out privately? I mean, we need to look at every avenue, but first of all, if we're going to be asked to pay for something, people should have a say.
Are you pretty certain of those numbers?
Well, this is the county budget on the website. I mean,
Okay.
Are you saying,
we look, because it goes in here, salaries and budgets, then they have that's another thing, professional fees, like on Clark County. Professional fees is $4,803,000. Aren't we hiring professionals?
Go ahead, Stephanie.
were you trying to say the people who work on the cars make 132,000?
No, that's what it costs the taxpayers. No, there's no way they get that. And just like the inspectors for Clark County. After years, they're probably around 80,000 a year, but I think it's costing 194,000 per employee. So I don't know. That's their numbers.
Okay.
It's not mine.
And let me, back to the specific question. Do you have any idea how much Clark County taxpayers are paying out for pension plans for governmental
No,
employees?
I haven't been able to
Okay.
find that information yet.
Okay, thank you.
But I will.
Thank you.